Breaking news at 4, Durham issues a stay-at-home order as Wake and Orange counties prepare to do the same. This comes as we learn of the first deaths from coronavirus in North Carolina. Plus,
businesses are already struggling. Now there's a spread of stay-at-home orders across North Carolina. What that means for businesses and the pushback from the North Carolina Chamber.
I'm Mark Boyle in the Live Center this afternoon. After a solid day on the stock market, the Dow takes a tumble right here at the very end. I'll tell you why.
we begin with breaking news at 4. Local counties issue stay-at-home orders. Durham made the announcement today. Wake and Orange counties are preparing to do the same thing. Hello and thanks for joining us. I'm Gerald Owens.
And I'm Deborah Morgan in for Catherine. Today we learned about the first deaths from coronavirus in North Carolina. One person was in their 70s with underlying medical issues in Cabarrus County. The other person in their 60s traveling through the state.
Today we have team coverage to keep you informed. First, let's go to WRAL's Adam Owens, who explains how Wake County plans to issue a stay-at-home order. Adam?
Gerald, a stay-at-home order is exactly what it sounds like. It's meant to keep people in their homes for their safety while this coronavirus is spreading. There's been a lot of talk about one coming to Wake County. One is expected on the way. As a matter of fact, leaders here in Wake County have spent the last 2 days talking about exactly what it will look like.
You know, we're just going to have to try to adapt to it.
Even before details are released to the public, Richard Wilkins is at a grocery store in Raleigh.
And I'm hearing about Durham lockdown and hearing they're supposed to be locking, Wake County down. So just trying to go out and grab everything we pretty much need, last minute shopping and stuff to try to hold us over till everything kind of blow over.
Greg Ford, chairman of the Wake County Commissioners, says a new stay-at-home order is on the way, a move to keep most people in their home and slow the spread of coronavirus. It should not mean you need to run to the grocery store. Mecklenburg County and Durham previously announced similar orders. They still allow people to leave their home for food, for medical treatment, or even exercise. Those who work essential jobs like hospital workers, police and food service workers still go to work. And under similar orders, restaurants still offer takeout and delivery. Daycares still operate. And the worst thing that could happen from these stay-at-home orders is people overreact, hit the stores and try to hoard what they think they will need. Again, keep in mind that a lot of these previous orders have allowed people to still do a lot of what they're probably already doing if they have been practicing quarantining and staying in their homes already. Very important that people do not overreact to any of this. We're still waiting to hear the exact details of what this stay-at-home order will mean in Wake County, so stay tuned. Back to you.
Adam Owens, live in Raleigh. Thank you, Adam.
I'm Mark Boyle in the Live Center. Within the past 30 minutes, we have confirmed the state treasurer has COVID-19. Dale Falwell releasing this statement right here. He was out of town on a trip and he didn't feel well. He said he came home, he monitored his temperature and saw no increase through the weekend, even though the cough seemed to worsen. After consulting with a physician, I was tested on the afternoon of Monday, March 23rd, and was informed late last night of a positive result. His press office just sent me an email. They're not going to do any on-camera FaceTime or phone interviews. They say he is at home recovering right now, but the situation certainly is not good, and all those staff members at the treasurer's office are being asked to work from home unless it is essential they're in the building. Back to you.
Speaking of staff members, thank you, Mark. 11 members of the Wake County Sheriff's Office staff have been asked to self-isolate. According to a new release sent out about 90 minutes ago, the staff members include 5 deputies, 5 detention officers, and a telecommunicator. The 11 either reported flu-like symptoms or they have a spouse in isolation because they had contact with someone with the virus.
The mayor of Durham announced a stay-at-home order today, as we've told you. It goes into effect tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. WRAL's Durham reporter Sarah Kruger is live now to explain the reasons why you could leave your house. Sarah?
Deborah, you can still leave your house for essential needs and to go to work if your work is deemed essential. So some things you can do. You can take a walk outside, you can go to grocery stores, and you can come to restaurants for curbside pickup.
This morning, Durham's mayor became the first in the Triangle to issue a stay-at-home order. In other places, it is also called a shelter-in-place.
The earlier we act, the better our chances of success in reducing the spread of this virus and of saving lives. And the earlier we act, the shorter will be the economic disruption.
It means that non-essential businesses must close or move to work from home. There are a number of exemptions in the order. Examples of some businesses that can stay open include grocery stores, pharmacies, gas stations, and banks, restaurants for curbside pickup and delivery, and medical facilities. People I spoke to in Durham feel the move was a good one.
It's needed. It's needed.
I think all precautions should be taken into effect.
The order prohibits a number of things, including playing any contact sport. It also prohibits public or private gatherings greater than 10 people. Even in small gatherings, social distance must be maintained at all times.
And the plan for now is that the order will remain in effect through April 30th, but at any time the order could be revised, and so could the timeline of it. I'm sure a lot of you all have questions. More details about the order can be found on our website, WRAL.com. We actually have the full 14-page order on our website in its entirety. Deborah?
Sarah, how does the mayor plan to enforce this?
Deborah, that was addressed in his news conference this morning. It is legally enforceable, although basically what he said this morning is he doesn't expect to have to enforce it. It sounds like that's kind of a bridge he will cross if we get there. He said it would only really be enforced if there are repeat and egregious offenders.
Sarah Kruger live in Durham. Thanks, Sarah.
While municipalities in Wake County have been talking to county leaders, they don't know what's going to be in the order, so they're taking a wait-and-see approach. WRL's Amanda Lamb spoke with officials in several towns and joins us live from a quiet parking lot in Cary at the Crossroads Shopping Center. Amanda, that's usually a very busy spot.
It sure is, Gerald. In fact, this is usually one of the busiest places in Cary. People come from all over to this shopping center. And as you can see, there are hardly any cars here at all. The stores are closed. The restaurants are just doing takeout. And, you know, it appears that most people are already staying at home. But, of course, if this order comes down from Wake County tomorrow, like we expect, that will increase.
Even in the middle of the week, the Crossroads Shopping Center in Cary is usually packed with shoppers. It's quiet now, as is downtown Holly Springs. Even without a county stay-at-home order in place, it looks like local towns are already taking strong precautions to slow the spread of the virus.
We've been in discussions with the county and with some other towns on what might be coming. But we're really at a wait-and-see mode right now.
With the stay-at-home order, police will be tasked with enforcing the rules. We spoke with Chief Tim Hayworth in Zebulon. He says it's not about arresting people, it's about education.
We just have to get that message out to everybody, is that this isn't a time to panic, this isn't a time to freak out, but this is a time to come together and do what we can do, everybody together, to eliminate this virus.
Now, as Adam and Sarah said, they don't know exactly what's going to be in this order, but it's likely going to be similar to Durham and other communities where people will still be able to go out and get their basic needs met. They'll be able to go to the grocery store. They'll be able to go to the pharmacy. So we don't expect huge changes. But again, those town leaders have been in discussion with Wake County, and they're just waiting to see exactly what the rules are when they come down tomorrow. Gerald.
Very important people understand what they can and cannot do. Amanda Lamb, live in Cary. Thank you, Amanda.
Duke University Hospital is joining the first national study to test a potential therapy for COVID-19. The treatment, known as remdesivir, was previously used to treat people with Ebola. It also showed promise in animal studies against MERS and SARS. Coronavirus patients in the hospital with significant symptoms can choose to take part in the study, which involves 10 days of treatment. The patients will be checked daily for changes in their condition.
The White House reached a deal with the Senate on a stimulus package to help the struggling economy. Days of marathon negotiations have resulted in a $2 trillion proposal.
While the full details have yet to be released, the breakdown looks something like this: $250 billion for direct payments to individuals and families. The plan being negotiated would give direct payments of $1,200 per person if you make less than $75,000 a year. $2,400 for married couples earning up to $150,000 a year, and $500 more per child. WRAL's Aaron Thomas is live in Cary to explain what this could mean for you. Aaron?
Well, Deborah, we spoke with several business owners in this shopping complex. They say they would appreciate financial assistance to help them pay with rent and keep up with payroll, but they wonder if this plan will cripple the economy down the road.
Matthew Sawyer is keeping business afloat at Play It Again Sports amid a public health crisis.
I've had to, reduce the hours of my employees and stuff like that, which hurts them.
News of Senate's stimulus package sounds refreshing. The deal would provide direct payments to qualifying individuals and families, and it would provide billions of dollars in financial assistance for businesses large and small. Sawyer is concerned about increasing national debt.
It's going to hurt the debt, obviously. Nothing's free. But if it keeps business going, through these times, it's great.
And at 5:30, you're going to hear from people and families who are expecting to receive this stimulus check, how it affects them, and when you can expect a check. Back to you.
Aaron Thomas, live in Raleigh. Thanks, Aaron.
I'm Mark Boyle in the Live Center this afternoon, monitoring the stock market as the close happened just a short time ago. The Dow closing up today about 500 points or 2.3%. But take a look right here. Right around 345, we saw this dip after a solid day from what we've been seeing over the past several weeks. And one of those reasons, this headline right here, Bernie Sanders fighting with GOP senators over unemployment aid threatens to delay the coronavirus stimulus. Politics at its finest right here. There are some GOP senators saying they would delay the bill over the unemployment insurance provision. And then right here, Democrat Bernie Sanders saying he would delay the bill if his Republican colleagues did not drop their opposition. There is still negotiating going on with this. Right now, they are still trying to get this thing to move forward, to get money back to the American people. Back to you.
Still some speed bumps lying in the way. Thank you, Mark. It is always our goal to offer facts, not fear, about coronavirus. The WRAL team you trust is airing a special broadcast tonight at 7 o'clock. We'll be here to provide insight on the pandemic and hopefully answer any questions you may have.
As we've seen, stay-at-home orders will make it especially difficult for local businesses.
What restaurants and business owners in North Carolina need to know, coming up at 4:30.
And a local certified yoga instructor started doing sessions for her elderly mother confined to their home. Now she's doing free sessions online for everyone. That story tonight at 5. Plus,
Fayetteville police were investigating a shooting at this home that left the 26-year-old mother dead.
Her ex-boyfriend just came and just shot her.
We'll tell you where they are in the investigation.
And we saw over an inch of rain at RDU Airport last night. Coming up, we'll take a look at where we stand for the month in terms of rain as well as temperatures and talk about our temperature trend for the weekend.
You're watching WRAL News.
as the fight against the coronavirus continues, some of the largest grocery chains in the country are installing sneeze guards. Those retailers include Kroger and Walmart. The plexiglass sneeze guards will function as barriers between customers and cashiers. Walmart says it started putting them up at Walmart and Sam's Club pharmacies. Kroger says sneeze guards will be installed at checkouts in all of its 2,700 plus stores. The grocer operates several regional supermarket chains, including Harris Teeter. Students at Wake Tech are going back to class next week in a different way. The college will resume classes online Monday. The only exceptions, law enforcement, nursing, and radiography classes. In addition, Wake Tech's spring semester is now 1 week longer, ending Friday, May 15th. Graduation was postponed until Saturday, July 25th.
A man shot by Raleigh police is out of the hospital and in custody. 26-year-old Javier Torres is facing charges for resisting arrest, having a gun with an altered serial number, and more. Police say they saw Torres at a shopping center on North Rogers Lane on March 10th. They ordered him to drop his gun. He ran instead. The officer who shot Torres is on administrative duty. Raleigh police say they have arrested the suspect in a fatal stabbing. Detectives say 35-year-old Reginald Valentine stabbed 58-year-old Christopher Cotton Saturday night. It happened on Capitol Boulevard near the Beltline. Cotton died the next day.
In Fayetteville, family members say a mother was shot multiple times by her boyfriend. These are pictures of 26-year-old Brittany Irwin. She died at her home early this morning. WRAL's Fayetteville reporter Gilbert Bays is live outside police headquarters after speaking with the victim's brother. Gilbert.
Well, Deborah, I spoke with the brother and also stepmother and stepfather as well. As you might imagine, the family is devastated. Now, Fayetteville police say they're on this. They vow to capture the suspect in this case, get him off the street, and put him behind bars.
This is a picture of the man family members say is responsible. He's Marshall Hollingsworth. We're told he has a lengthy criminal record and is the father of the victim's 1-year-old child. The victim is 26-year-old Brittany Irwin. The shooting happened about 12:30 this morning at Irwin's home in the 4100 block of Delwood Drive. That's just off Ireland Drive. According to family members, Hollingsworth broke up with Irwin several months ago, but recently made death threats towards her. We're told that Hollingsworth arrived at the home and shot Irwin multiple times while she was standing on the back porch of the home. Her brother was devastated by the news.
She was getting her life together, do what she had to do, got a job. She was going back to school and doing what's right for her kids. Because, she got to step up, be a great mother to them. And we was there right behind her all the way.
Her brother says Irwin's 2 children were in the house when the shooting happened. He says her 7-year-old son saw his mother on the floor and ran to protect his little sister. Hollingsworth fled the scene. The family is now coming together to take care of the children and figure out a way to tell them their mother is not coming back home.
And that is a conversation with a child I don't think any parent will ever want to have. Now, Deborah, right now, Fayetteville police say they have their violent offender task force on top of this thing. They're planning to do what they have to do to get him in custody. They say if you run into him, expect him to be armed and dangerous. Call 911.
Gilbert Bay is live in Fayetteville. Thank you, Gilbert.
We are getting a closer look at a powerful tornado that tore across northern Mississippi yesterday. Storm chaser Josh Kern was tracking the storm when it turned very close to his vehicle. You can see the tornado's outer circulation tearing down limbs and throwing limbs and debris into his windshield. Fortunately, Kern wasn't hurt. You also see a couple of drivers up ahead who stopped in their tracks because of the debris.
Boy, that is something to see. Luckily, we didn't have anything like that around here, but we did have a lot of rain overnight.
Yes, we did. Had a lot of rain overnight. We needed it, but now, Kat, we need some sunshine.
And we're finally going to get some sunshine. In fact, the sun coming out for many folks. My next door neighbor is actually doing some yard work. Hopefully my microphone isn't picking it up, but you should be able to do that, especially as we head into tomorrow and Friday. Looking at satellite and radar, our drying trend continues. The rain is out of here. The area we were watching of low pressure, that has shifted offshore, and what's next is high pressure building in from the west, and that's going to dry us out in the coming days. I do want to recap what we have seen, though, for the month of March. We're nearing the end of the month now, and we're running above normal in terms of temperatures for the month. Our average temperature about 56 degrees this month, and that's 5.5 degrees above normal. So it's been a warm March, but believe it or not, we're actually running below normal in terms of precipitation, about an inch below normal, and we saw more rain yesterday than we did every other day for the month combined, putting us at just over 2 inches of rain. March, though, is on average a month of extremes because we're transitioning from winter to spring, of course, and in March, we have seen 17.8 inches of snow in Raleigh back in 1927. The warmest was 94 degrees in 1907, and 11 degrees was the coldest it's ever been. That was back in 1980. Our trend that we're watching, not any of those extremes, but it is going to warm up in the coming days. Our normal high this time of year is 66 degrees. We were in the 50s for highs at RDU today, 60s in Fayetteville. We're back in the mid-60s for our highs tomorrow, but Friday is the day you'll notice the more dramatic change with high temperatures back in the 80s. We're going to be going in depth on the weekend forecast and what's driving that warming trend at 4:30. Looking at Fayetteville, starting to see some sunshine, and you can see this clearing trend showing up pretty nice on satellite this afternoon. Where you have the black showing up, that's where we have the clearing going on, and where you have the white, that's where some of the thicker cloud cover remains. But the trend that we're seeing is that thick cloud cover is starting to disperse, and that trend will continue through the evening. So many of us getting to see a pretty sunset tonight with just some of the lingering clouds behind. At 5 o'clock, if you're headed out for a dog walk, it's 56 degrees. Still pretty cool. Grab a jacket if you're heading out and about. 7 o'clock in the mid-60s, and we do cool into the 40s tonight. Town by town, our coolest spot, Roxborough, of course, at 43 degrees tonight. 47 in Fayetteville, 45 in Raleigh, 46 in Goldsboro, and tomorrow, town by town, we are back in the mid-60s for everyone. Partly cloudy tomorrow. It is dry tomorrow. It should really be a beautiful spring day to spend some time outside, go for a walk, just get some fresh air. But this weekend, check out the trend that we have for the weekend. A major warming trend, 81 Friday, 86 Saturday. We haven't made any be major changes to the weekend temperature forecast, but we have made some slight changes to our rain chances. Just a 20% chance of a sprinkle Friday night. Most of that rain, though, should stay in Virginia. By Sunday, that's going to be our best chance for rain for the weekend, and then we cool off behind our weekend system. We're going to be talking more about the weekend coming up in about 30 minutes. Back to you.
Kat, thank you very much.
A private Virginia university is opening back up despite warnings from health officials.
Coming up, how the president of Liberty University is defending his decision.
And a grandfather meets his grandson for the first time through a window to maintain a safe distance. This story is coming up in What's Trending.
The details on the impact of the coronavirus here in North Carolina are changing every day. We're providing daily podcast updates. Just search Coronavirus North Carolina News Brief wherever you get your podcasts.
Time now for a look at what's trending.
Good luck finding a Nintendo Switch. Many of the big retailers are out of the popular video game console. Back in February, the company said that there could be shipment delays. And since then, millions of people began staying at home, and the video game industry has seen a boost in usage. Last week, Verizon reported that U.S. video game usage during peak hours was up 75%.
I suppose that's no surprise with all the kids staying at home. Oprah Winfrey and her longtime partner Stedman Graham are practicing social distancing during the coronavirus pandemic, and that includes staying away from each other. Winfrey posted on Instagram saying she had pneumonia last year, only stopped taking antibiotics last week due to a bronchial infection. This obviously some file video of the couple. Another reason for the precaution is because Graham recently traveled by plane.
They have the resources. They can stay adequately apart from each other for a while.
I think they'll be just fine, yeah.
A new app will connect you with someone who is also stuck at home. It's called Quarantine Chat. Through the app, you can have a phone conversation with a random person as if you were meeting them on the street. The company says your information stays private and only your match will see your username.
Those are some old phones in that picture. And a grandfather and a grandson's first meeting looked a little different because of coronavirus. The two met for the first time through a window in Ireland. Baby Fwallan shared a moment with his dad as his grandpa said hello through the other side of the glass. The baby's mother caught the moment on camera and posted it online with the caption, 3 generations of social distancing. The family is showing how connection is still possible even at a safe distance.
Isn't that precious?
It really is.
Stay-at-home orders will mean big changes for state businesses.
Coming up, how restaurants and other businesses will be affected and how they're reacting to the orders. Plus,
so many kids are at home and online. I'm 5 News Side's Monica LaLiberty. Just ahead, a warning about malware targeting popular apps your kids may be using right now.
Capital Broadcasting and WRAL are here to help during these trying times. If you are a business owner who could use some expert advice, join us as we launch our Here to Help Local Business Virtual Conference Series tomorrow at 2 p.m. Go to WRAL.com/webinar to register for this free service.
Coverage you can count on. This is WRAL News.
As we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Durham issued a stay-at-home order, and Wake and Orange counties plan to do the same thing. Many lives have already been turned upside down by the restrictions. This will be another hit for businesses.
WRAL's Cullen Browder joins us now live in Raleigh with more of the impact. Cullen?
Well, Deborah and Gerald, if you ventured out to places like Cameron Village here, you've seen, aside from the takeout, so many of these retailers have already closed down. That takeout would continue, but with this stay-at-home order, many of these retailers would be forced to close down. We're talking about a lot of small businesses considered non-essential having to close down to prevent the chance that crowds would gather. And we're not just talking about here, all across the region. Even without a current stay-at-home order in effect, Raleigh's Crabtree Valley Mall is virtually empty. The few walkers outnumber shoppers, with most stores already locked up.
I'd say probably 95% of the stores seem like they're closed right now, so it's not much of a reason to be here.
Blake Tickner manages his family's men's clothing store. Considering the state of sales and the ongoing spread of coronavirus, he understands that retailers like him will likely be forced to shut down.
Yeah, it absolutely means we won't be showing up here anymore and kind of hunker in and do our part to help get past this, and hopefully everybody stays healthy and goes by quickly.
Right now, I think we need to err on the side of health, but also be mindful of businesses.
That said, Raleigh's mayor says it's time to pull the trigger on more restrictions.
We need a stay-at-home order now to protect as many citizens as possible.
Now, the president of the North Carolina Chamber has been reluctant to go along with a lot of these stay-at-home restrictions. In a statement from earlier in the week, Gary Salamito wrote, quote, "The disruption a shelter-in-place order would generate for the private sector and for North Carolina citizens whose financial well-being and overall welfare depends on their ability to work cannot be underestimated. It would fashion a massive disturbance that could create the opposite of its intended effect." Since then, Salamito has come out and said shutdowns, if they happen to go through, need to be fair, clear, and reasonable. Deborah and Gerald.
Boy, just no easy choices here. Cullen Browder, live in Raleigh. Thanks.
A Virginia university has reopened its campus despite public health warnings. Liberty University is a private evangelical university in Lynchburg. Most classes have been moved online. Gatherings of more than 10 people are banned. And while restaurants and dining halls are open, all meals are takeout, carry-out. This move comes despite specific social distancing guidelines from the state and the CDC.
I don't know why everybody's making such a big deal of it. Every college has some students living on campus because there's international students who can't go home. There's some students who really have nowhere else to live.
More than 1,000 students have returned to campus so far. Other schools in the state, like Virginia Tech and the University of Virginia, have closed their campuses because of the pandemic.
Today, for the first time in history, North Carolina lawmakers held a remote committee meeting by teleconference. It's just another of the many changes COVID-19 is forcing all of us to make. WRAL's Laura Leslie reports they may have to meet in Raleigh soon to make some urgent changes.
Legislative leaders have been saying they'd probably hold off on coronavirus relief till their session next month after they see the federal response. But they may have to meet to help those relief dollars flow. Representative Julia Howard is on a COVID-19 committee that met Wednesday by video conference. She says the unemployment application system is facing unprecedented demand. Changing state law quickly to streamline that process could help claims get paid out more quickly.
Now is the time to get those benefits out to the working public that need them. And the quicker we can do that, the better.
The state constitution does not allow lawmakers to vote remotely, and it's not clear how they could meet in person without risking COVID-19.
We need to try to figure out a way to do that. If it's come into session one day, one morning, and everybody come in individually, to the chamber as your name is called, I don't know.
Other groups will be meeting by video tomorrow, looking at other issues like health care and education. House Speaker Tim Moore says some needs can be met quickly through administrative changes, but likely not all.
I'm absolutely willing to come in whenever we need to come in and take care of this. If it's tomorrow, we'll come in. And my members are ready to come in because we know that whatever we need to do legislatively, we will.
Laura Leslie, WRAL News, Raleigh.
We have asked Senate Leader Phil Berger's office whether the Senate is open to a special session. They have not yet responded.
Apple may reopen some of its retail stores in April. A company memo mentioned staggering those openings and outlined a plan that would let many employees continue working from home at least through April 5th. Apple closed all of its retail stores outside of China recently because of the coronavirus. The company has since reopened its 42 stores in China. It appears Americans are stockpiling eggs during the pandemic as they cook more meals at home. And that's leading to a supply shortage and a spike in prices at the supermarket. The newest data shows egg sales jumped 44% last week compared to the same time a year ago. As a result, Walmart and other big grocers have set limits in recent days. Researchers have found that Americans are buying up to 6 times the number of eggs they normally buy.
As we learn of new coronavirus cases, people are waiting to see how the government will respond. And online, some people are making wild guesses about what might come next. Many of those rumors are unfounded. Today, PolitiFact looks at a claim about President Trump. WRAL's Travis Fain has more.
Is the president planning a national lockdown? That rumor is spreading on Facebook. You can see from this post that some people are expecting President Trump to invoke the Stafford Act. The Post says that would trigger a mandatory 2-week quarantine for the nation. Is that true? The answer is no. First of all, the Stafford Act does not trigger a lockdown. It authorizes aid to states and to local governments. As for other lockdown plans, there is no evidence. This claim was posted last week on March 16th. Since then, the North Carolina National Guard has come out and refuted the claim. You can see their tweet behind me. The president also held a press conference that same day, and he was asked specifically about a lockdown. Here's what he said.
Are you considering instituting a nationwide lockdown, a nationwide quarantine? The NSC knocked that down, but there's still some questions about how it all came
at this point, not nationwide, but well, there are some some places in our nation that are not very affected at all. But we may look at certain areas, certain hotspots as they call them. We'll be looking at that, but at this moment, no, we're not.
Now, this rumor stokes lots of fear, but it has no evidence to stand on. That's why the Truther Meter rates it false. For more coronavirus fact checks, go to WRAL.com/PolitiFact.
2 more local governments meet tonight to make plans on how to deal with the coronavirus. Johnston County Commissioners will meet at 6 o'clock. The Chapel Hill Town Council meets at 7. Keeping with social distancing, both meetings will be broadcast and live streamed so you can watch them from home.
A woman is using her voice and someone to drive her around to spread positivity.
Working for the man every night and day.
Coming up, how her neighbors are reacting to her joyous song.
And the coronavirus is not stopping musical theater programs, how California is taking its rehearsals online.
And you ever wonder how the stories we report come together? Check out our new WRAL podcast, How to Commit Journalism. We'll talk to the reporters and photographers who find the stories and get them to you. How to Commit Journalism launched today on your preferred podcast platform.
You're watching coverage you can count on with WRAL News.
You can stay inside without giving up all your favorite activities. A nightclub in Ukraine had one of its DJs spin online. The DJ wanted people to be able to join remotely and dance without leaving their homes. It's been a huge success with more than 2,000 viewers from across the globe, including some in the U.S.
A theater in the San Francisco Bay Area is taking a similar approach. It's giving people the chance to schedule their own virtual rehearsal time. Students can learn their steps and vocals from a video posted on a website, then jump on Zoom to practice their new moves. The theater company hopes this creative workaround keeps them all in sync for upcoming shows.
That's great. With the 2020 Tokyo Olympics now postponed, one of the biggest questions going forward is how much will all of this cost? Right now, no one knows for sure yet. However, one financial outlet in Japan estimates the added cost from the delay will be about $2.7 billion. Another put the price tag closer to $5.7 billion. Those figures take into account the cost for extending leases on venues, maintenance on those facilities, and organizing staffing, just to name a few. So many children are online right now. Have you checked their apps? Just ahead, 5 on Your Side has the trouble that's been downloaded 1 million times.
And a woman is spreading joy and cheer with her voice. We have that story coming up. Kat?
And it's been a cool afternoon. High temperatures in the 50s across the triangle, only sitting at 49 degrees in South Hill, but 48 hours from now, it is going to look and feel completely different outside. I'll break down the changes coming up.
Coming up at 5 o'clock, businesses are struggling during this pandemic. Many are being forced to lay off the workers.
Are you one of the tens of thousands out of a job right now because of COVID-19? I'm 5 on Your Side's Monica LaLiberty. Just ahead, some words of advice from an expert about what you should do right now to prepare yourself for when this crisis finally ends.
And Fayetteville police looking for a murder suspect. Family members of the victim share their memories as they search for answers. Deborah, those stories and much more beginning at the top of the hour.
See you in a few minutes, David. Tomorrow, WRAL is here to help local businesses with an all-day virtual fundraiser. We're working with the North Carolina Restaurant and Lodging Association to raise money for the North Carolina Restaurant Workers Relief Fund. That fund will provide immediate financial relief to restaurant and hotel workers affected by pandemic-related layoffs. It all starts at 4:30 in the morning on all of our Capitol Broadcasting platforms. Look for us on TV, on radio, and online all day long.
That affects so many people in this area. We hope everyone can get involved. An international crisis, yet the criminals never stop. 5 on your side's Monica Liberty has a warning, and parents need to take note.
Take note because children are some of the targets with apps that contain malware. So many kids are online right now with parents trying to keep them busy and learning while they are out of school. Checkpoint Software, a cybersecurity vendor, says malware was spotted in 56 apps on Google Play. Almost half of them were targeted to children. They were downloaded 1 million times. 1 million times. Those apps have since been removed from Google Play, but of course it is all a good reminder to watch what you and your children download and any links you open. Monica Liberty, WRAL News 5 on your side.
People are pitching in all over the world to help the fight of the spread of the coronavirus. That includes businesses in different industries and sectors. Zeiss Brand, a company that produces denim out of Ohio, has switched to making surgical masks for medical workers. Owner and founder Zach Myers said he started getting messages about mask shortages and knew he had to do something.
Assistant directors at ERs, anesthesiologists, just different sectors of healthcare have reached out to me and placed orders because, some have zero supplies, some have limited supplies, and the ones who do have limited supplies are being told to reuse these N95 masks.
Great to see him stepping up like this. Myers researched CDC guidelines, found a supply of government-issued fabric, and then got to work. He says the material used in the masks meets requirements.
It's the beginning of spring, but don't look now. Summer.
Yeah.
Not too far away, or at least it's going to feel like it.
Yes, it's going to start warming up, but boy, today sure was chilly. Kat?
It was. Temperatures today only in the 50s. We're going to be 20 degrees above normal by the time we get to the weekend, though. So major changes in the forecast. It's 54 degrees right now. 48 hours from now, high temperatures are going to be in the 80s again. So take a look at your weekend forecast. 81 degrees is our forecast high on Friday. Should be a beautiful afternoon on Friday. Saturday looking nice as well. That's when we reach that 20 degree above normal high at 86 degrees. And Sunday, we have had to increase rain chances, but only slightly. High temperatures on Sunday in the mid-80s. For the weekend, of course, it's going to stay warm all weekend. We will see our overnight lows going up as well. So no jackets needed from Friday through Sunday. Well above normal temperatures. Some cloud cover arrives, but it's thin upper-level clouds, and rain chances will remain relatively low. Sunday is going to be our best chance for rain at 30% and a 20% chance of rain for Friday evening. But I want to break down why we are going to see this big warming trend in the days to come, and it all has to do with the jet stream. Right now, you can see the blue over North Carolina. We're looking at a little bit of a dip in the jet stream, and that's led to the unsettled weather here today. But watch what happens with the jet stream as we head into tomorrow. We start to see a ridge of high pressure building in, and it's really going to be nudging in from the Gulf of Mexico in the coming days, and this is what drives temperatures up, especially on Friday. Look at how this changes on Friday. We really start to see that area of high pressure intensify, it strengthens, and a strong wind out of the southwest is going to transport warmer air into the area. But I want you to look out west. When we see that big lift in the jet stream for us, we're going to see a dip in the jet stream for them, and that's going to lead to below normal temperatures for the southwest. It's a different story here, of course, with above normal temperatures in the forecast for both the mid-Atlantic and all of the southeast this weekend. A nice weekend to be in North Carolina, needless to say. You can get some fresh air outside at least. Chapel Hill, it's really a beautiful afternoon right now. Still on the chilly side, but warming up a bit thanks to sunshine. Not everyone sings sunshine yet, but the key word is yet. Still some lingering cloud cover sitting over Dix Park right now, but we are going to continue to clear out from west to east throughout the evening. So over the next couple of hours, that change should gradually happen. You can see by 6 o'clock, partly cloudy skies, 7 o'clock, partly cloudy as well. If you're grilling out tonight, grabbing takeout tonight, temperature temperatures are in the mid-50s, and by 7 o'clock, 51. Grab a jacket. It'll be pretty chilly this evening. Hour by hour throughout the day tomorrow, I do want to walk you through the changes. It's still going to be chilly in the morning. Temperatures are going to start out in the 40s. We are back in the upper 50s by lunchtime tomorrow. Not a bad day to take your lunch outside, and mid-60s for highs. So we start that warming trend. Just don't be caught off guard by the 40s early tomorrow morning. Friday, 81 degrees, our forecast high. We added a 20% chance of rain Friday evening into Friday night. Again, not expecting any major impacts, and it looks like the best chance for rain Friday night would be up in Southern Virginia. Saturday, looking like a spectacular day outside. Sunday, a 30% chance of rain mainly late in the day, and then temperatures will go down as we head into next week. We're back in the 50s for highs by the middle of next week. Back to you.
That's a beautiful forecast. Thank you, Kat.
A Mississippi woman is spreading joy during the pandemic with a song from a sunroof.
I wanna dance with somebody. I wanna feel the heat with somebody.
We'll show you how our neighborhood is reacting to the happy tunes.
That's great. And medical workers have something to celebrate amid the chaos. Triplets. That story just ahead. Hope amid the coronavirus pandemic. A hospital in Lima, Peru had a birth of triplets yesterday among medics working around the clock to stop the spread of coronavirus. Hospital workers are cautious to make sure the babies stay safe. Peru has more than 400 cases of the virus. The babies are in good health.
A Mississippi woman is spreading joy during the coronavirus pandemic through her song, a sunroof, and someone to drive her around town. Rosalind Anderson explains.
I have always loved making people happy.
Belhaven resident Christina Spann didn't like the anguish and insecurity she saw, and while walking Sunday, she began to sing. Thinking she disturbed neighbors, the Jackson native wanted to say she was sorry.
I heard some dogs barking, and so I posted on Nextdoor. I apologized for, causing a stir. And the comments kept rolling in like, no, we heard you. We really appreciated that, especially for the workers at Baptist. They heard you.
The next day, she hit the streets with boyfriend Duncan Dent at the wheel, belting out tunes from her sunroof.
Working for the man every night and day.
Just to see smiles on people's faces during this time was just so good to see, because everyone's been so stressed out and the uncertainty of things.
It's really fun. We've just been cooped up in the house for the past week and a half, and so it's kind of nice to come outside and see a friend, social distancing, but dance a little bit and have some fun.
The 28-year-old youth program coordinator will continue her mobile concert series, sharing her love of music, taking her tunes on the road, maybe a street near you.
Deborah, you can do that in your neighborhood.
You know what? People would be throwing things at me if I were to do it, but I would listen to her all day long.
Just speed up a little bit so they can't hit you.
That's right. It wouldn't sound so bad. Right, exactly. Coming up at 5, Durham Tech is doing its part to help the community, how they're making sure medical workers have more protective supplies across the triangle.
And several counties in North Carolina issuing stay-at-home orders, what you can and cannot do. Coming up next at 5 o'clock.